Hello friends, today we are discussing about the peptic ulcers. It is the very noxious disorder of GI tract. So as per its name terms, the peptic ulcer is an ulcer of an esophagus, stomach or duodenum. It also happens in jejunum and also in ileum, or we can say Meckel's diverticulum area. Or peptic ulcer is an whole or open sore lesion that occurs in a lining, or we can say mucosal cover of GI tract. It is mostly happens because there is an imbalance between the mucosal defensive mechanism of GI tract and the secretion of gastric juices like hydrochloric acids and pepsin. So we can say there is an increased production of hydrochloric acids and pepsin, and that will ultimately lead to ulcerations, and finally that will lead to perforation or bleeding of GI mucosa. If you see the epidemiology in peptic ulcer, the 10% of the whole populations worldwide can suffer with this disorder, that is called peptic ulcers. Right? There are mainly two types of peptic ulcer. First is duodenal ulcer, second one is gastric ulcers. Duodenal ulcers mostly occur in the first part of duodenum, that is called duodenal cap. The gastric ulcers occur in the lesser curvature part of the stomach. The duodenal ulcer mostly occur in the man, while the gastric ulcer occur mostly in the female. Duodenal ulcer occur in 30 to 40 years of age, and mostly gastric ulcer occur after 60 years of age. The male gem female ratio is 5 gem 1 whole peptic ulcers. Right? So male are predominantly more prone to develop these peptic ulcer disorders, right? So these are the epidemiology. Now if we talk about the causes of peptic ulcers, the first major cause of peptic ulcer is H. pylori bacteria. The major cause of is Helicobacter pylori bacteria. The Helicobacter pylori bacteria is a spiral shaped bacteria that lives in the acidic environment of the stomach, and it can survive in this defensive mechanism. It can survive even if with the presence of gastric juice. So this infection with this H. pylori bacteria may occurs in childhood, and through contaminated food and water, right? Then it remained latent, or it remained dormant in the persons, and in if it is left or if it is untreated, and then it will cause the peptic ulcer in adolescents, right? So this peptic ulcers infection may occur in childhood से ये peptic ulcers disorder होता है, जो लेटेंट फॉर्म में रहता है चाइल्डहुड के टाइम पे, और देन जब उसको एक्साइटिंग कॉज मिलता है, देन इट इज फ्लरिश अप इन एडल्टहुड, राइट? एंड दैट विल कॉजेज द गैस्ट्राइटिस एंड अल्सरेशंस. So H. pylorix in 80 to 90% of the patient with peptic ulcer, the major cause of this is because of this bacteria, that is Helicobacter pylori bacteria, right? So H. pylori bacteria. Second one is the major important cause is long use of NSAIDs, or we can say is the painkillers like ibuprofen, diclofenac, ketoprofen. Also the treatment that are used in treatment of osteoporosis, that is bisophosphatase. This all drug can cause the peptic ulcer by inhibition the secretion of prostaglandin. Prostaglandin is a important hormone that are secreted in the tissue, that are secreted inside the body, and that can buffer this acid juice, that can neutralize this acid juice by increasing the production of bicarbonate, and also it acts as a cytoprotective agent that will help this mucosal barrier to protect against these acidic gastric juices. So there is an inhibition of this prostaglandin secretion, and that will ultimately lead to the ulcerations by secretion of this more gastric juice, hydrochloric acids and pepsins. Right. Third cause is smoking. Again, smoking can inhibit the production of prostaglandin, and that will also causes the ulceration. And if the patient's having the peptic ulcer history, and if the patient's having peptic ulcer disease, and despite of good medication and good regimen and good diet, if he continues to smoke, then no medicine can help, right? So the smoking can interrupt the healing process in peptic ulcer, and also it can inhibit the prostaglandin secretion, and that will ultimately leads to peptic ulceration. The another cause is there is a major imbalance between the mucosal defensive mechanism and secretion of these stomach acids like hydrochloric acids and pepsin. In normal individual, what happen? The stomach mucosa, stomach lining is protective by the secretion of mucin, or we can say mucus, that are secreted from the endothelial cell of this stomach layer, or also it is the protective by the bicarbonate productions that are produced by the pancreatic enzymes, and also there is a cytoprotective agent like prostaglandin that can protect the layer, right? So there is an imbalance between these pepsins secretions and this protective mechanism, so that will causes the hypersecretion of gastric level, and that is causes the, and that called the, that happens in Zollinger-Ellison syndrome, and that causes the hypersecretion of acids. Also the another cause of this gastric peptic ulcer is the it mostly happens in O positive blood group persons. O positive blood group persons may have this prone to develop these peptic ulcer disorders. The psychological factor like anxiety, stress can also induce this peptic ulcer diseases. Also the duodenal ulcer can occur in other disorders like chronic renal failure, chronic heart failure, and COPD. So along with this disorder, the peptic ulcer may occur. So these are the mechanism, or these are the causative factor that can causes the peptic ulcer disease. Right? So this is the peptic ulcer disease. If you see the pathophysiology, if you are seeing the pathophysiology, because of this H. pylori bacteria that can survive deeply beneath the layer of mucosal layer of this gastric mucosa, that ultimately causes the secretion of these endotoxins in stomach, and ultimately because of this endotoxins secretion there is a inflammatory changes that happens in the mucosal layer of the stomach, and because of inflammatory secretion there is a hypersecretion of gastrin, and because of this gastrin secretions there is a ulcerations, and because of this ulceration ultimately there is a perforations, right? So this inflammatory process that helps in gastrin secretions, that inflammatory process lead to hypersecretion of gastrin that stimulate the parietal cell of stomach, and that ultimately there is increased production of acids like gastric acid, hydrochloric acid and pepsin, and there ultimately there is a ulcerations. This is the pathophysiology. If we are talking about the clinical symptoms, or we can say diagnostic symptoms of this peptic ulcers, are there is a duodenal pain. In duodenal ulcer, there is a pain at the region of duodenum, or we can say pain at the region of epigastric, that are mostly occur 1 to 2 hours after meal, and that are relieved by food eating or drinking anything. So this food relief mechanism that seen in duodenal ulcer, or food relieve the pain that happens in duodenal ulcer, while in gastric ulcer there is also epigastric pain, but it is not relieved by eating anything. It can worsen after eating of food. So this is the major difference between gastric ulcers and duodenal ulcer. The duodenal ulcer pain is epigastric pain that are mostly occur 1 to 2 hours after eating, and in gastric ulcer the pain start immediately after the eating. Right? There is a bleeding, there is a perforation, there is a vomiting, there is a water brush. Ultimately, because of this, there is a malnutrition and anorexia. Right? Anorexia, and ultimately that lead to malnutrition and weight loss. This is the clinical symptoms of peptic ulcers. Now, diagnosis part, you can diagnose these peptic ulcers through endoscopic biopsy, also blood serology you can diagnose, also urea breath test and barium study. So ultimately this all can diagnose this peptic ulcer disease, and also through physical examination and clinical history. The peptic ulcer patients having this kind of pain modality, right? So you can easily diagnose the patient whether it is gastric ulcer or duodenal ulcer through endoscopic biopsy. You can diagnose through serological. You can diagnose the H. pylori infections, right? So these are the investigation parts. The treatment part. The basic treatment of this peptic ulcer is lifestyle modification. The majority of the disorder can relieve the major symptoms relieve through lifestyle modification. Like you can advise patient to avoid smoking and alcohol, avoid taking spicy food. You can advise patient to take a meal at small interval. Right? Again, this all lifestyle modification can helps to improve the patient's health and allows medications to work properly. So non-pharmacological treatment mainly this modification of lifestyle. Second one is pharmacological. If you see the pharmacological treatment, then antacids you can use proton pump inhibitor. Even you can go through the gastric acids aspirations by nasogastric aspirations, right? So that can relieve the stomach pain. And finally, if it is very much worsened conditions, then you can do surgical treatment, that is pyloroplasty or surgical removal of lower part of stomach, that is Billroth's surgeries, right, or enterectomy. And also one major important treatment is to treat the H. pylori bacteria with antibiotics, right? So these are the treatment part of peptic ulcer. I hope you will understand all this topic. Thank you. Stay home, stay safe.